Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are looking at a brand new brand of motorcycles, or at least a new one to South Africa. It's a company called Tromox, with a range of smaller, stylish motorcycles designed by the fashion romantics in Italy and built by the industrious crew in China. It looks pretty good, if not a little small, but then Tromox is about small runarounds. This model is called the MC10 Trail X, designed very much with off-road in mind. Oh, and it's electric, so no pressure. And to ensure not pressure for the small motorcycle, we enlisted the services of the least smallest person we knew, Sean Henley.
Okay, Tromox MC10. It's the first proper electric dual-purpose bike I've ridden, and it's performing better than I expected. Really nice suspension. I'm 115 odd kilograms at 2 meters tall, and I was expecting to be cramped on this bike and expecting the suspension to bottom out every time I hit a lump or a bump. Like I said, I was expecting to be cramped on the bike, but I'm not, mainly because I don't have an engine protruding up in between my legs and a fuel tank that I have to work around. So it gives you a lot more space and no radiator shrouds. So yeah, it does give you quite a bit more space.
It weighs in at just 102 kilograms, which is nothing. So it'll duck and dive to the rider's requirements. That's aided by a small aluminium frame, a compact motor, and a battery system all held aloft by adjustable suspension.
Well, going through a corner, it's fairly stable through a corner. The one thing I do miss is, or taking time to get used to, is the back brake. It doesn't have a rear brake pedal, and being an old off-road rider, going into a corner too quick, I'm used to tilting in and then hitting the back brake when I needed to get the wheel to step out a bit more, or etc. Here the back brake is on the right handlebar, and it's taking me some time to get used to that. The other thing I keep doing, and it's just old school, basically have to set my mind back to riding DCTs, I keep on looking for a clutch and a gear lever.
As is the way with electric vehicles, there is indeed no need for a pesky gearbox or clutch, except for a reverse gear that merely makes the motor turn the other way round. Now, we are familiar with such things as CCs and cylinders and bore and stroke and fuel injection. With electric, we are still familiarizing ourselves with the terminology. Instead of cylinders and things, we have something called an SP Heart mid-mounted motor. Instead of fuel injection or carburetors, it has something called an FOC controller with advanced CAN communication designed for high-speed data exchange and superior error detection. That sounds magnificent. And while we're all just nodding dumbly, let's take something that we do understand. It pushes 17 horsepower, which is pretty good for such a small machine. However, it isn't in power where electric motors flourish. The electric language is torque, and this thing pushes an astounding 350 Newton meters of those.
And it is pretty quick. It's 350 Newton meters or something in the back wheel, and you can feel it. I'm riding in eco mode at the moment. Quite frankly, I'm a little bit nervous to put it in the full peri-peri mode, in the sports mode, the full beans. In eco mode, I think I can get about 60, 62, 63 k's an hour. Okay, so putting it onto sport mode, it's suddenly a lot more perky. Wee-hee! Okay, now we're really cooking it along. Sport mode is the one you want to ride on, but I've also noticed that it has reduced my my range quite significantly. While I was on eco mode, what are we sitting on? We're sitting about 80% battery. I had just over 110 kilometers range. Flick it onto sport mode, and suddenly we drop to like 60 k's an hour, or 60 kilometers range, sorry. Am I brave enough to hit the water? Electricity and water. Are we going to do this? Let's see. It's doing it. And it's doing it quite well. Oh, bugger! There we go. Thick sand. That's cool.
Speaking of range,
Interesting. Okay. That's the seat off. No, that's the seat off this way. That's the seat off. And you swing it that way. And there's your two batteries.
so if need be, you could get a spare set of batteries
Yeah,
and then just interchange them.
from what I understand, yeah. So batteries just hook out with those. They plug off with these plugs over here, which are the same as your charging plug. So your charging port is just close the bonnet, or the fuel tank if you like. If you want to come around that way, Don, I'll show you where the charging port is. So you'll see I went through the water and it didn't shock me to death, and it got quite deep. Now your charging port's down here. And there's your charging port, all nicely rubber sealed. Quite like it.
Fantastic.
It was at about 20% this morning when I took it for a ride, and I plugged it in, and that's a lucky thing. We're on full solar here. Free electricity, free petrol for the bike. I like this idea. And they claim 4 hours from 20%, or basically 30%, sorry, 20-30% to full charge, about 4 hours. And I can concur. That's what it took to charge it up.
So 4 hours for a full charge, but more so, the batteries are removable. If budget allows, buy 2 packs. Leave one on charge while you ride with the other. Now we've mostly been doing off-road, and you might be forgiven for thinking that this is a dirt-only motorcycle. But no.
Other than that, it's a motorbike. It's got everything that a street legal motorbike would have. You've got hooters over there, you got high beam, low beam, you got indicators. Okay, listen to these indicators. Let me slow down. How cute is those indicators? My little R2D2 motorbike here. The other thing I really like about this bike is it's old school, but modern. Meaning no traction control, no ABS or assisted braking, the only thing it has got in that sort of range is dual braking, almost like a BMW GS. 70% front and 30% rear or something like that, I believe. And you know what? It comes to stop quite nicely. Pull the back brakes are just purely back brakes. So you can do things like slide the back wheel. Yeah, great motorbike. The other thing I've noticed, no matter the light conditions, the little digital display is super clear, gives you all the information, how much charge is left in both batteries, what speed you're doing, whether you're in eco or sports mode. Let's flick it down, we're back into eco here, and then what your range is. So yeah, it is really easy to read this little display.
Then there's the cost, and it's here that most electric vehicles become somewhat prohibitive. However, this one's still a little steep. It'll leave the showroom floors at 179,000 Rand. a similar sort of price to a Honda NC750. However, even with its frugal nature, the NC will still require petrol, oil, coolant and regular servicing. The Tromox will require occasional brake pads and a chain. That's all. Now the elephant in the room is the exhaust note, or clear lack thereof. While this is a bummer to many a petrolhead, on the other hand, it means that this machine can be ridden pretty much everywhere without being noticed. Have a look at the houses in the background of the shot. Normally the owners will be pulling shotguns and demanding we be quiet, but they don't even know we are there. You can even sneak up on somebody, or not wake up the dead. Riding in quiet is far better than not riding at all.
It's actually a great little machine to ride.